Ultimate Collectibles here with our second ever review. The reason that I preface it's our second ever review is there's going to be problems. For example, I just recorded the entire review and the camera had shut off about 1 minute in. Secondly, there's going to be stuff like lighting and focus, and I'm going to say or so too much, so just bear with it. I will get better. The biggest problem we already have with this statue right here is I don't even know how to display it while I review. It's monstrous. This is the review for the custom quarter scale Silver Surfer. This is the custom quarter scale Silver Surfer statue. On this channel we don't talk about where customs come from. However, growing up I was a huge fan of Silver Surfer in the comics. I still am to this day. He was probably my favorite hero, followed closely by the obvious of Wolverine and Hulk. Growing up, I remember having tons of comics where he would, battle Thanos in a gladiator-style arena. He would fight the Rhino on top of being the Herald of Galactus. Everyone knows his name is Norrin Radd. He gets his power. There's kind of a controversy. Some people say it's from the board. Some people say it's from Galactus. The one I grew up with, he always got his power from within, so that's pretty cool. And obviously an arch nemesis of the most powerful cosmic beings like Thanos and Galactus, worked with the Fantastic Four. A lot of history on Silver Surfer. And I saw this render over a year ago when I was really getting serious into collecting, and I had to have it. And a lot of you can probably relate to this story I'm about to tell right now. I was asking everyone and their mom on where you can get this piece and how do you get it. And long story short, after tons and tons of searching, I was finally able to land it. And I became part of this group. This is actually my 5th piece from this group. But I am so happy I was able to get in because every piece I get is phenomenal and they just seem to be getting better and better. This guy comes in a few different pieces here. Comes in one large box, which is kind of the size of a child coffin. It retailed for about, with shipping, around $2,000 US, give or take there. I think it's flipping for about $4,000 or $5,000 now if you want to get it, which, to be honest with you, might be worth it if you have the funds for that. So the giant childlike coffin box that it came in had a lot of black foam layered very well. Some of the foam was actually inside of the black hole. Some of the close-ups here, you'll see that the inside of the black hole is extremely intricate. So to get the foam out, I actually had to cut it out. So the black hole comes into 2 pieces, the huge part, and then one piece that comes off. So pretty simplistic. It's stuck by a magnet. Silver Surfer himself comes in 3 pieces. His body and head are attached, and then each of the arms comes off. There is a switch out for the left arm here. Here you have the cosmic power, blue and purple coming out. And the switch out, as you see, is just a normal everyday arm. Then the last piece of the packing was the actual board itself. It comes as a complete entire board and it slides right into the black hole, so it looks like the black hole is engulfing it. Assembly was pretty easy. Excuse me. I had a little bit of trouble putting it in due to some temperature warping, but everything turned out fine. So concept and design. This is what I call the most simplistic, complex statue I've ever seen. So first of all, when you look at it, this is Silver Surfer. There's no doubt, there's no question. I've owned a few other ones and I have a few other ones coming, but I think this is the king. It is exactly the way I've always pictured Silver Surfer. From him coming out of the black hole, to the pose, to the portrait, it's just 100% genuine. And I love how he's not just coming out of a black hole, but the black hole is really engulfing part of his board. The cosmic power coming off of his hand. It's just fabulous. I can't say enough good things, and I could sit here all day, but really when it comes to concept and design, the plans and the execution, I hate to use the word flawless, but I think it would be absolutely flawless. So Sculpt. So again, simplistic, complex, right? There's a black hole, a board, and a man. So starting at the black hole, you think it would be simple, but black holes probably aren't, and this one is detailed as hell. The sculptor and the commissioner, their minds just go somewhere that my mind cannot, because it is unbelievable. There are so many intricate parts of this black hole, how it's wrapping around, how it's coming in and out. It seems like simple, but it's not, and I think this makes this is an unspoken part of the success of the base. No one's ever done anything like this. Very cool. I don't know how I'm going to clean it, but very complex. Silver Surfer, his board, pretty simple. There's not really a lot to the sculpt of a board. We have 4 or 5 lines running down each side. Very simple. It's the right shape. It's the right size. I think it's done very well. Silver Surfer himself looks very simple. He's not. The sculpt is extremely complex, all the way starting at the bottom, his muscular legs going to his bare ass, and his no bulge in the front, not like Loki in my previous review. I promise I won't talk about bulges every time. His ass is very shiny, which I've never seen a man's ass. I don't see too many men's asses, but I've never seen one very shiny. The musculature on his arms and back and his torso is absolutely perfect. I picture Silver Surfer as a being of a lot of power, but he doesn't necessarily have a lot of presence outside of his chrome. So I think this is exactly how the character should be. But when it comes to sculpt, what blows me away is the portrait. This is Silver Surfer 100%. I don't know how it could be any better. This is the facial expression he would have. This is, you know, every single feature is just perfect. Then the sculpt on the cosmic powers coming out of his hand, I think it's absolutely great. It's hard to tell if it's just, you know, leftovers from him coming out of the black hole, if he's getting ready to use his power, but it's very much like the black hole, this clear resin, and it's just coming out. I think it's done very, very well. Paint. Once again, I keep using the word simple complex because it is. Starting at the black hole, there really wouldn't be a lot of colors in a black hole. That's why it's called a black hole. So you have a few different shades of purple, 1 or 2 shades of purple in there, and then black kind of blended really well together. It's very subtle. The lighting really picks it up. And I think if it was done in an all black, it would be very boring. I do know right now one of the few kits that was left over is being painted in a different method by a professional painter, and I think that'll be fabulous to see when that comes out. Silver Surfer, chrome. It was done perfect. There is 0 defects. I love how shiny it is. You don't want to touch it unless you have gloves. It does make it very difficult. What I love is you can actually see his reflection in the board. Classic Silver Surfer. And then the cosmic powers coming out of his hand, a few different blues mixed in with a few different purples similar to the black hole, and I like how as it gets closer to the black hole, some more of the purple actually just takes over. This piece, I think it's absolutely fabulous. Somebody posted in a group the other day, what's the one piece that you would keep if you had to sell the rest? This isn't my favorite piece, but this is the one piece I would keep simply for the fact that it's museum type quality. This is something a museum would display. This is something you wouldn't even need background around. Someone would walk in, not know who Silver Surfer is, and love this piece. So I think it couldn't have been executed better, and I rarely say that on a statue, but this could not have been executed better, and I think it's going to hold its spot as the king for a long, long time, if not forever. So I'll get some measurements here. I do have to get up to do that because it is incredibly large. So I did do some measurements, and from the top of the board all the way to the back, it's about 41 inches. The depth of the unit, the depth of the unit is approximately 18, and then the height is about 23. So you will need a very large area to display this. So if you enjoyed this, I really appreciate you watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. I have a lot more Grail statues that I am reviewing, as well as a lot more coming in. I think this week, next week, I have 3 custom pieces coming in as well, including XM Scorpion. Excited about that finally. Thanks so much.